Hey, what's everyone? Happy Friday! Welcome to another episode of the SEO Video Show. Today we have Ryan Ricketts. Welcome, Ryan. How you doing today? Happy Friday, my brother.
Happy Friday, buddy. So good to be here.
Love it. And you guys, we just went live. We'll be learning property and apartment SEO, property management, that is. We have a lot of things that we're going to be learning today. I met Ryan over at Brighton SEO San Diego. Right, it was we were crossing paths, and you know what? I actually thought you were going to be at Hrefs conference because it said Ryan Ricketts on the speaker panels, and I thought it was you, and it was a totally different Ryan. I'm like, another Ryan Ricketts in SEO. I mean,
it's so funny because I've been contacted by people in the past looking for that one, and I'm sure he's probably had the same situation. And he's in Seattle, I'm in San Diego. We're roughly about the same age. I have the dark hair, he has the lighter colored hair, but it's just funny. It's literally just like our what is it, like on Superman, the bizarro Superman who's just like the polar opposite of Superman. And so yeah. I feel like we're in the same industry, we have the same name, look a little different. Like he's north, I'm south, and I wanted to go to that, but I just had other stuff I had come up with clients. But yeah, I wasn't speaking at that one. I did speak at Brighton SEO though. Yeah, but I heard Hrefs was Evolve was great.
Yeah, it was really good. It was a great conference. It was small enough to talk to everyone, or kind of at least network with everyone. You can go up to anyone that was there, whether it was like any of the speakers or even like the CMO of Hrefs. Like everyone was approachable, which was very awesome. Cool. So, Stefan, my man, happy Friday. Don't be shy, guys. We got about less than 3 minutes to go. Say hi in the live chat. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Yeah, San Diego is like, I was telling everyone, I think if I didn't live in the Bay Area, the only second place I'd live would be San Diego. It's such a great city.
I mean, yeah, it is. And I mean, you can't go wrong with the Bay Area as well. I mean, I always love it when I go up there, so.
Yeah, I mean, at least San Diego's really clean. I like how clean it is. I mean, I can't say the same for San Francisco, but, and Oakland, but San Diego's really nice. But of course, the Bay Area is where I was born and raised, and all my family's here. I love the Bay no matter how it looks. It's just, for sure. Yeah. So, all right, let's see here. If you guys are just tuning in, we are talking about property management and apartment SEO. This actually comes at a great. You're actually out. Did you turn off your camera, Ryan? Ryan? Oh, there you go. Okay. Oh, you're on mute now. I can't hear you now. I can't hear you. I can't.
Sorry. Okay,
there you go.
I had my grandfather clock going off right now. I didn't want to pick up on it.
Oh, no, that's fine. Listen.
Okay.
That's a good thing about having lives here. Everything. Let's let things just happen freely.
Sure, that's a good point. Just like Saturday Night Live,
Yeah,
it happens.
Let's see here. Don't be shy, guys. I know I started a little late. So we see a few of you out there. We got about 1 more minute left. Say hi in the live chat. Let me know where you guys are watching from.
I always love the music you have playing in the background. So it's just like so chill and catchy and like nice.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started, I used to just use music I liked that I would find, and then I would get these copyright strikes. So I was like, sure. I went to a beat producer. I'm like, hey, I want something that's like chill, funky, like maybe a hip hop, maybe 90s type of vibe. And then so that's kind of like what my playlist is what they pretty much put together for me. Melissa, Millennium Money Mom, hello, TGIF.
TGIF.
All right. Let me go ahead. We got less than 20 seconds to go. So Ryan, I'm going to go ahead and put you on mute real quick, and I'll introduce you in about 1 minute. All right.
Sounds great.
Again, if you're just tuning in, we have Ryan Ricketts today. And wow, I wasn't on cue. let me get things started here. All right. There we go.
Yeah. Hey, time to get it started, no delay, let's work. Wanna see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre de Vera, steady dropping knowledge, over 15 years in the game, so he knows all about it. Master the art of SEO, you will be amazed. Time to get your brand off page to on page. Dropping knowledge, legendary for sure. Whether you're just getting started or self-employed entrepreneur. Yeah, let's go. Subscribe to the SEO video show.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the SEO Video Show, where SEO is alive and fun. My name is Paul Andre Vera, aka Dre, and I curate SEO videos released within the past week into about 1-minute clips. My favorite part of the show is when I get to introduce my guests. And today we have Ryan Ricketts. Before we get started, let's say what's up to everyone in chat. I see Millennium, Monima, Marcus, Stefan. Welcome, everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Now let's get on with the show.
Hey Dre, what do SEOs use when they go fishing? Link bait!
All right, we got an interesting update from Google. Google is constantly working on to simplify the search results page so that it's quick and easy to find information in websites that you're looking for. So Google will be updating the site owners where there's actionable information about specific features, snippets, structured data, etc. In their documentation. Starting in July 2026, they will remove support for the structured data types in Search Console and its API data. So I got a feeling structured data is going to be more important than ever, and they just don't want to help us out. So take that for a grain of salt, and let's get on with the show. Before we get started, here's a word from our sponsor.
Your traffic is vanishing and AI search is the reason why. Hi, I'm Paul Andre de Vera, a 20-year SEO pro, and this is how I beat AI in its own game. Answer engines like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity are all replacing Google results, and your organic traffic is disappearing. No links, no attribution, just lost visibility. Right at the moment, people are deciding what to buy. These answers shape the buyer's journey, but you get zero traffic and zero credit. So how do you stay visible even when search engines stop sending traffic? I use Profound, the only tool built to help brands in AI search. I used to spend hours optimizing for rankings. Now I optimize for answers, and Profound tells me precisely what AI is talking about my brand. Profound gives you answer engine insights. See where and how AI mentions your brand. Agent analytics. Track how often AI crawlers visit and use your content. Conversation Explorer. Discover what real users ask AI before they buy. And shopping visibility. Boost product presence in ChatGPT shopping. If you're not showing up in AI answers, you're out of the conversation. Start now before your brand disappears from the buyer's journey. Be sure to click the link below and try Profound.com to take back your brand's visibility.
Ryan is a seasoned SEO professional with over 11 years of experience. He focuses mainly on local SEO, e-commerce, and pay-per-click. He's a team leader, overseeing up teams up to 11 individuals. He recently spoke at Bright SEO San Diego. Please welcome Ryan Ricketts.
Ryan, my man, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I love those intros. I always love the intros you do, and I always feel like that's the closest I'm ever going to get to sounding like I'm coming to the middle of the stage at Madison Square Garden. So thank you for living out that childhood dream of mine.
Love it, love it. Hey, everyone, let's give a round of applause. All right, Ryan, I'm going to get right into it. This is the first question I ask all my SEO professionals that come on here. In 1 minute or less, how does Ryan get ranking on page 1 of Google?
It's going to be such a boring answer, but honestly, just doing the basics, having that great content, doing those meta titles, and doing a competitor analysis and seeing what your competitors are not doing. And also really trying to make sure that whatever backlinks we're getting are quality and relevant. So if you have a service and that is how you want to get to page 1, I mean, honestly, just doing the basics, that's SEO 101. If you can't do that, then I would be greatly surprised if you're number 1 on for whatever topic you're trying to rank for.
Love it. First knowledge bomb today. Hold on. Let me rewind this real quick. Take us way back. Take us back over 11 years ago. How'd you first get into SEO?
Okay. So yeah, let's just hop in our DeLorean here. And I will say that I was working for a print advertising company, and one of our clients was really into placing ads in college newspapers. And so they were my account. And then they wanted to transition a little bit also to do some digital ads for college newspapers, or making sure that like they were showing up on college newspaper websites. And since we were only print, we didn't really have anyone who did that. And the owner of the company was one of those guys who always said yes before there was ever a way to accurately do it. And so I kind of like tasked myself to be like, okay, I'm going to be autodidactic here, and I'm just going to, teach myself how to do this because this is my client, and I'm going to do the best that I can. And so I taught myself like Google Ads, and like the account went okay. Like it wasn't great. It's like my first time doing it, and it wasn't a huge budget, and they knew that, and they were more or less open and liberal with that, which was great. And then from there, like just kind of learning that, I'm like going on Search Engine Land, Search Engine Journal, and I'm like, wait, what's this SEO stuff? Like, should we be doing this for our own company website? And I started to dive more into that. I totally fell into the rabbit hole, Alice in Wonderland style, and like loved it. I loved everything I was reading. And I liked how more challenging it was for me, at least in comparison to Google Ads. And so I decided, okay, well, this is something I think I'm a little more interested in. And then from there, I kind of just started working at different digital marketing agencies, leaving print behind, and just really trying to soak up all I could about SEO. And then I pretty much just found that was what I wanted. Like I really loved SEO. I liked the challenge of it. I like that it's not doing the same thing over and over again. There's certain methods that you do over and over again, but how you implement it for each, vertical client, and especially with local SEO, you could have a chiropractor in the same city, but it's not, you got to have different methods if you wanted to rank for both of them. So I love the challenges of it, and how you can never really just stay number one and be number one. There's always something you have to do to maintain that status.
Love that. So you said you mentioned Search Engine Land. Were there any other people that you actually followed back then when it came to SEO?
To bring back a good name from the past, Matt Cutts. I really liked Matt Cutts a lot. And I would say, obviously, Rand Fishkin was the man. Will Reynolds. I mean, I think they're still the men in what they're doing right now. But those were like kind of the three I listened to a lot. And I mean, if you were to put a Mount Rushmore of SEOs, you're probably putting those three on there at least, especially for 10, 15 years ago of what SEO was. So those were the guys that I was really looking at and like reading and trying to emulate in my practices. Love that.
But did you believe everything Matt Cutts said? I know there was a lot of SEOs that always get, and we look back at it, he was, there was some truth of it. So there was some wasn't. Did you take it for a grain of salt, or you actually I'm a Matt Cutts guy?
To me, Matt Cutts was always kind of like the politician of SEO, where I'm going to say the truths that I want you to hear, but aren't necessarily a lie, but it's not necessarily written in stone truth. So, I mean, I feel like he was very politician-like in his deliveries of, here's what we want you to know about SEO. So, with what he said, I took it with a grain of salt, but that's why, as any SEO, you always have to do, some fact checking, double check your stuff, find like multiple sources, because if you're just going to one well to get your water, you're going to dry up real quickly.
Love that. So I'm curious right now, like what lessons have you learned back then that actually still work right now, that you feel that you can still apply, that was back then?
Back then, I would say that doing what I kind of alluded to earlier, the SEO 101 work, you have to do those. You have to take your time with that, and everyone's talking about AI this and AI that, and obviously it's important, and obviously you need to use it and use it well and use it wisely. But if you can't just create or optimize like a simple page and have like a call to action, place keywords, and get those backlinks that make sense for it, you're just not going to be successful. So I can't run a marathon if I can't run like a simple lap around my block, And like if I can run around my neighborhood and not get tired and do it in a timely manner, great. Now I can move forward and do like the more complicated things, maybe some of the more technical aspects that come with SEO. So I think that back then there was more of we're not talking about AI 10 years ago, but we are talking about like, the basics, what we would call the basics. And I think, nailing those down is still quite relevant today. And I think it always will be until something dramatically changes.
Love that. Okay, let's fast forward to now. In part of your career, we're working for agencies, in-house, freelancing. Like, kind of take us through that journey.
Yeah, so I think one of the cool things about my resume, and something I actually really feel blessed about, is that I've been able to work at so many different agencies where I've had so much experience. I've been going to conferences for years now, and I've met all these people who have worked at like one agency for 8 to 10 years, which is great. Like that, that's really cool. You're obviously doing something well there. But I also feel like if your agency is only catering to like dentists or only catering to e-commerce, it's kind of hard to grow your skill set because you, for lack of a better phrase, you're a one-trick pony. You're very specialized, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. I mean, you have that in sports, but like on the same token, like I think being well-rounded, like if an agency was to contact me today for some consulting work, regardless of what kind of agency it is, I know I can go in and give them advice, whether it's e-commerce, local SEO, or enterprise or mid-sized business, like because I've been able to work with these like really large brands that are household names, and I've been able to work with all these like local businesses that are like healthcare related or home services, and I feel like having that in my back pocket has really made me, one, enjoy my job and what I do, and then secondly, just made me really valuable for like other people, because even if I can't necessarily help someone, I know information that I can send them or pointing them in the right direction, saying, hey, you know what? I'm not necessarily an expert in foreign language, e-commerce or whatever, but this is what I know you should be looking at. And this is who you should probably be contacting because they can probably help you better than I can, as an example.
Love that. Okay. Now let's go into like you starting your own thing, right? I mean, so now you started Slickets Digital. We were talking about how you started with Slickets and how slick you are and how you were able to pull in some flirt with some first graders when you were a first grader yourself, of course. But I like let's get into Slickets Digital. Like how what was the why?
The why was I honestly just enjoy working for myself more than working for an agency. I enjoy, one of the main focuses of Slickets Digital is really trying to help out smaller businesses. If I were to be perfectly honest, my dream client would probably be Major League Baseball. However, I know I'm not going to get that. But having said that,
they say never, say never say never.
Okay, you're 100% right. I know that if I can help out a small business, especially one in my community, that just has such a big effect on everything around me. And, when I'm doing SEO work for these like larger corporations who are literally spending millions of dollars a year, like it's cool because I get that like blank check and I can kind of putz around and try anything and see how it goes. But then when I'm moving the needle for like a smaller business, that just means so much more to me. Like years ago, and it's always stuck with me, I had a dentist out here in like, northern San Diego County, and he opened up his own, practice. And he, and on the first phone call we ever had, he was like, look, I'm a dentist. I know nothing about digital marketing. I know I need to do this. Just tell me what to do and let's work together and do it. Okay. And I'm like, great, you're my new dream client. You're going to listen and we're going to work together and this is going to be awesome. And sure enough, like, we would give him like 12 to 15 ideas and he took about a dozen of them, and maybe just push back on a couple, nothing too wild or crazy. He did the stuff that we told him to do, and we obviously took care of the stuff on our end. And his business grew and flourished pretty quickly given his market. And it was really great because as we were building that relationship and having all that success we were having, he was able to say, what's really cool is that I was able to hire someone else. So I didn't have to do all the dental work, 5 days a week. And I'm also able to take my daughter to more ballet classes because we can afford that. Nice. And like when hearing something like that, that's like music to my ears, because that obviously he's a dad. He wants to like take his kids to ballet and, do all those things and give the best to our kids. And he was able to do that because of the success we did. And you don't really hear those things when you're on like larger enterprise clients. And not that there's anything wrong with that. Again, it's just when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, okay, yes, that's motivating me. Like I want to get out of my bed in the morning and make sure I'm doing extra well for that guy and help out the other person so they can take their kids to like Little League or so they can, grow their business and hire more people and create more jobs. Like that's what I thrive for. And that's one thing I really want to do with Slickets Digital. So that's why we really try to focus small to mid-sized businesses. Obviously, if Major League Baseball gives me a phone call, I'm going to like absolutely answer that and say, hey, Major League Baseball, what's up? What can I do for you? But I just really want to help those small businesses out there and help them become profitable and get those clients, those services sold and t-shirts bought or, whatever it may be.
Love it. And of course, getting a blank check from an enterprise is also very, very exciting to get, right? I mean, I love that. Yeah. All right. Let's go into the topic of today. And this topic actually comes at a great time for in my career because I'm actually a realtor. I'm starting to get into more of the real estate industry and like starting my own business with that stuff. And getting into like property management, luxury apartments is a great topic for me for us to cover today, and which is. I want us to get started. Let's get started. So how'd you get to the industry? How'd you get to the industry of this property management in luxury apartments?
Yeah, so I think one of the true blessings I ever had was probably getting hired at a company called Lease Labs. And
Okay.
they were a boutique agency based here in San Diego who was in charge of property management. That was like their main, vertical.
Okay.
And so this is where I was just, managing clients who had luxury apartments all across the US. And it was an amazing job and it was an amazing company. I absolutely loved it. I had some truly brilliant and awesome clients that I am still friends with today that I still talk to.
Mhm.
And this was, 2016 to like 2021, around that time frame. So,
Mhm.
handful of years later, I'm still like friends with some of my clients, which is, I think shows a testament of like the industry and these people I was able to work with and what we were able to do. At that time, when I first started, a lot of the property management companies out there, they weren't really aggressive about their digital marketing approach.
Mhm.
There was a couple of clients that we talked to that were still doing the oh gosh, what was it called? The doorknob ads that you would place
Hangers?
on your front door.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
hangers, those little
hangers. Yeah.
the doorknob hangers. Yeah.
Like that was their go-to approach, and it was kind of like, okay, well, if that works for you, great, but we're a little more tech savvy. We could do some more things where we can actually track like if that's valuable or not.
Mhm.
I was on a call one time with this one client, and this is one of our first initial calls, and it kind of like blew me away that at that time the client's quote was, I think we need to do more digital marketing because I think this Google thing is sticking around.
Mhm.
And this was like 2016.
Mhm.
So like a lot of people in the industry were very behind in digital marketing. And, fortunate or unfortunately, a lot of people who were in those years promoted to like director of digital were people who really didn't have the experience or the knowledge, but they were just with the company for so long. It was just like a natural progression of being promoted, which is,
Mhm.
it is what it is. And so, and those people who would come to us say like, look, I got promoted, or this is what I'm in charge of. I know nothing about it. That's why we're hiring you. Let's do it. And one of my personal favorite things I love to do is like education. Like I really love teaching
Mhm.
SEO and like the basics of it and how to learn and why it's important, all that jazz.
Mhm.
So one of my things I loved about that job was that they would send me out and I would meet with various clients or potential clients and do help with these business development deals where I would educate like these people and tell them, this is what SEO is. This is what a backlink is. This is why we use WordPress, or this is why we do this, and this is why we do that. And it was just like, oh, cool. Like you could see the light bulbs going off in their, in their faces because they were getting it and they're realizing how cool Google is and how beneficial it could be for their business, because of like the being able to like track everything and see this data and all that. So it wasn't just, oh, we could just spend $10,000 on a billboard and know that 50,000 people drive by that every week. It's like, well, no, you had 10,000 people go to your website and you had 5,000 of them like do something like a conversion that you were trying to track, So it was such a great time and such a great industry at that time where I could have my SEO bucket filled, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Love that. Love that. Okay, let's talk about some of the SEO challenges that you solved for some of your clients here. So let's look. One of them was like when market saturation, right? Was brought up.
Mm-hmm.
So how you solve that with SEO?
This is with SEO. I think this is one of the first times that I truly saw the value of long tail keywords,
Okay.
Over just regular keywords. Apologies for not remembering the exact numbers because it's been a few years, but if you were to go on your computer and type in Dallas apartments, it was anywhere from like 48,000 to like 56,000 monthly search volume in Ahrefs.
Okay.
If you were to type in 3-bedroom apartments in Dallas, it dropped down to about like 250. Now,
Okay.
most people would say, oh, well, we want to target Dallas apartments. It's a higher search volume. And yeah, it's true, but you're also higher in the marketing funnel than you are with 3-bedroom apartments. And what we learned was that the more long tail keywords we got, yes, we got a little bit less traffic, but we got more conversions. We got more phone calls. We got more people filling out applications. We got more people just simply inquiring about something. There was more interactions within all of their property websites because of that. And when we were doing like some research with that, what we learned was that if you were to do 3-bedroom apartments in Dallas. The people who are looking for a 3-bedroom apartment really need a 3-bedroom apartment because they have a roommate, they have a kid, they work at home, and they need that office space, or maybe they just needed like extra storage for whatever reason.
Okay.
And when you're doing just Dallas apartments, it's so generic that it's not necessarily getting you what you want. And so as we were going along and as we were building up the department for Lease Labs, what we really wanted to focus on was having that really specialized content include more long tail keywords because of the success that we were having for that. Another really fun thing that we did that I saw truly stand out early on was making sure that all the images have alt text. I know that seems like so dumb and so basic, but when you start doing competitor analysis of other properties within the area or of competitors, and you realize how many of them didn't have alt text, then you're like, okay, well, here's a place for us to like, jump on board and do something different. And then you throw in fair housing, and fair housing will absolutely take down a website if you do something that goes against their best practices. And if, all these like other properties didn't have like the alt text that would help out people who weren't able to fully see the images properly and had to read it, then, that gave us a great advantage. So we were able to make sure that all of our properties had that as a, and at that time that was a nice little advantage because again, not everyone was doing it. So finding those little simple niches, and that's like low hanging fruit. That's not like stuff that we're not rewriting the entire code on the website or like redesigning something or reinventing a new tool to do this. This is like, oh wait, here's something that no one else is doing. Let's do that. Here's something that no one else is doing. Let's do that. Let's target that. And I think that has really stuck with me as I try to use that with other verticals and other niches. What are the competitors doing and what are we not doing, or vice versa? And where is that gap that we can really, fix and like, cement our success in?
Excellent.
Okay, here we have doing search. Calling Larry says, doing search volume research. I think the short keywords versus long keywords are a lot of bots and automated things. So long tail does seem to be more real people. Yeah, that seems totally true.
That's a great point.
Yeah, so I mean, when it comes to content, I know one of the pain points that you were mentioned that you were solving were like duplicate content. Can you talk about like duplicate content when it comes to property management and apartments?
Yeah. If you have, so a couple of my clients, I had 3 really big clients that I worked with personally, and they had properties like in the same city and in the same neighborhood. So like they were almost like competitors with themselves at some point. And being able to write different content that for the same thing got really, really complicated. So we were actually, I think one of the best things we did was have a pretty solid writing team of multiple writers, and we did not offshore any of the written content at that time. So it was being able to have these like real people write this content and be as specific as possible, while also at the end of the day trying to sell these properties. And it can be like redundant at times when you're trying to say, oh, look at this kitchen, it has X, Y, and Z, and this kitchen has A, B, and C. And there's only so many things you can necessarily do in an apartment kitchen, but being able to make it as inviting as possible, which was what we really tried to do, and really trying to hone in on the unique features. That's what's really kind of stand out, because there are people who have very specific tastes. And if you can put that in there and make it stand out, then you're going to attract those people. Again, it's like the, less people, but you're getting the right people for that. Another really big thing that we started to do was for our bigger properties, we would do blogs. Okay, no brainer there, right? But what we would do is that we would do blogs that not only helped with like lifestyle stuff. So, the top 7 bars in this neighborhood, the top 10 places to grab a margarita within like walking distance. But also like, when's a good time to move? What do you need to do to move? Do you need to pay for movers? Or, best practices for having a dog inside your apartment, when you go on vacation, or, just like all these like simple blogs that today are like no brainers, but back then they weren't as prevalent as they were. And so we were able to like do those. And I remember one of my properties was in Dallas, And for the longest time, it was ranking as like the top 5 for like best margaritas in downtown Dallas.
Mhm.
And it's a property like thing. Like we were like right below Yelp.
Mhm.
So, and that's something that people are going to like look up, who are in downtown Dallas for business or for, for whatever.
Mhm.
Are those people necessarily going to go move into our building, after finding the best margaritas in the neighborhood? Probably not,
Mhm.
but it's helping out our brand. It's helping out our digital footprint, and it's making us experts in the community that we're in. And that also has, long-term effects in other ways.
Love that. Love that. Okay, how about this for targeting like specific apartments, like luxury? What does luxury? How does like if I want a luxury apartments? How does that look when you are doing like a research on that keyword research on luxury? I mean, like, do you think are people searching? I want a luxury apartment. I want to live in a luxury apartment. I mean, like, what did you see? And what's the content strategy there?
Yeah, there are definitely people who want to live in a luxury apartment. And I will say there are a lot of apartments out there that will call themselves luxury, but are clearly not. So that's always something to be mindful of anyone who's out there looking for a new place to live. Please be mindful, double check and just look at the website and see everything. Okay, there was this one high rise in Chicago, right around Lake Michigan. And they had, a beautiful gym. They had like an outdoor pool. They had like a game room, like a nice, pool table and everything.
Mhm.
They had, they had underground parking. They also had, in the building, a salon and like a dog groomer. Now,
Well,
if you have all those things, I think you're a luxury apartment. Like, I feel like when you're looking at the amenities and you see that, oh yeah, and also they have a dog park that like my dog can go from the groomers right to the dog park. Just take the quick little elevator right up.
Mhm.
If you have those, yeah, you are an absolute luxury apartment.
Mhm.
So it kind of I don't think there's a concrete answer to what makes a luxury, but when you see certain things, and I really feel like it falls more in lines with what their amenities are,
Mhm.
that really kind of helps it. Now you can have like a nice like interior, great countertops and flooring, but that's not necessarily going to move the needle in luxury for users.
Mhm.
But if you have these amazing amenities and you are doing, a lot of them are doing like community events, I think that actually helps out a lot. There's been apartments where we helped advertise, like a CrossFit event that was going on.
Mhm.
One of the more memorable ones I remember was around Christmas time, a newer property in East Nashville was doing like this Christmas market thing where they had all these local vendors come in like their huge outdoor area and they set up shops. So like, you had like these little local vendors who were, selling honey, selling candles or, other stuff that you could buy for Christmas. They were all there. They had like a live band playing Christmas music and like everyone in the apartment building came and they bought stuff and people in the neighborhood came and it was kind of like this great way to kick off this newer building that this property management company owned, all
Mhm.
these events, and they would have like these regular events, in that like courtyard area for it. So to me, if I'm seeing that seems
Yeah.
way luxurious to me than, oh, there's a laundry unit down the hallway, like, and a vending
Yeah.
machine.
Yeah, yeah,
So-
love that, love that. Okay, so let's talk about the actual like searches, like because apartments and properties we can do traditional SEO, but like how does it play with local search? What are you doing with local search wise when it comes to properties and apartments?
I think something that kind of that we started to do that made it stand out a little bit more was our backlink approach.
Okay,
So for that, we really learned that we got some pretty decent success. The more hyper local directories we would be placed in,
okay.
and then other things that would like make sense for us. So one of my favorite examples was I was kind of. Okay, I'll be honest. I was struggling with a couple of properties,
Okay.
and the needle wasn't really moving. It was
Okay,
very
yeah.
stagnant, and I'm like, okay, I need to do something else. Like, I've checked all the boxes. Like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and
Mhm.
what else can I possibly do? And so I thought, okay, well, and at that time, I just felt like I was reading a lot of stuff on backlinks, and I'm like, okay, let's reevaluate our whole backlink idea. And for whatever reason, it just kind of like hit me that why aren't we doing more stuff for pets? Because all of these luxury apartments have pets. Like they all allow pets. They either have like a dog park, or if you're super bougie, the dog groomer that I mentioned. But they all have these images of like happy couples or a happy person with their dog or their cat in their apartment. I'm like, okay, there's something here. Why can't I think of it? And then it dawns on me that what if I were to reach out to like animal shelters and see if they would do something at the property or something else. And so I'm going through a couple like animal shelter like websites, and if I thought, holy crap, these are all really high quality websites. What if I can get like a backlink on these? And then it dawned on me that what if we put all of our properties for the city on their website and said, hey, here are some approved pet friendly apartments that you can live at, and and that you can buy a dog. I don't want to say that you can get a dog here or a cat. And this is our apartments that we know that if you happen to be looking for a place that approve cats and dogs. And so I would, thank you, calling Larry. I would, reached out to various, animal shelters where, in these markets. And I said, hey, I have this idea. Like, do you want to put, a listing of apartments where they're pet friendly and, they allow dogs and everything and cats. And that way we can help anyone who has an animal, find a home if they need a new home. And also just, it kind of helps out everyone. And I would say an overwhelming majority of the places I contacted really love this idea. And they actually, some of them even had me set up meetings with me to talk with their web team and go over like, well, how do you want the page? What do you want it to look like? And I'm like, I just want like a listing of like this, like here's like these 10 properties in this area. I would love like a follow link to their pages. And I would love for, here's some content. If you guys want to change it, it's fine. But here's what we came up with. And they had like these listings of these apartments. They're like, okay, like, hey, if you live in Denver, here's like 10 apartments that we know cater to animals really well. Or here, you live in San Diego, here's, 8 apartments that we know cater really well to animals. And we set that up, and they were, high quality backlinks. And I thought like that was really awesome. Because I know like when you go to my hyperlocal, it's kind of like, okay, let's do the Chamber of Commerce, or let's do some like other like local things, which is great. I'm totally for that. But I was just, again, like I said, I was struggling and I couldn't think of a different way to do it. And it just happened to come to me. And to this day, it's still probably one of my favorite like backlink strategies I ever came up with. Just because like, one, I feel like I'm helping out the animals, which is great. And 2, I'm helping out my clients. So
love that. Okay, so any other quick tips on backlinks that you can just call out really quickly while we move on to like, let's say, also like what doesn't work when it comes to backlinks,
I think what doesn't work to backlinks is responding to everyone in LinkedIn who's trying to sell you backlinks. Like all like the random like spammers. In regards to just like overall like quality,
hello, dear.
I would say just double checking where if you're buying them, just double checking. Use a quality vendor. Use recommendations. If you know someone at an agency or someone else who's doing SEO who's had really good success with backlinks, and you want to use a vendor, just trust your friend. I feel like with backlinks, it's just word of mouth is probably way better than any review I've read online. So that would be my, from a business standpoint, that would be my 2 cents.
How about like PR? I know a lot of people like digital PR. Is this something that you do with your clients, or like, maybe with some community events?
Trying to do more digital PR. I actually have a pretty interesting PR story from a client in apartments years ago.
Okay.
And this is listen up, kids. This is a huge do not do kind of thing.
All right, tell us.
Okay, so this is years ago. This is probably about 6-7 years ago now at this point. And this is absolutely one of the worst things I've ever heard. So I don't remember the company, and actually I don't even want to use their name if I did remember. But what happened was this poor young woman was murdered in one of their apartments by either her boyfriend or her husband. And after the police did all the evidence and everything, and they got everything out of that apartment, the property management company cleaned it, obviously, and redid everything. And after that, they ended up taking the bill and sent it to the dead girl's parents because they wanted the parents to pay for the cleanup of their dead daughter. And obviously like the parents like freaked out about that and alerted the news, and it was this news story. And right after that, their Google business profile, or Google My Business back then, blew up with like nothing but like negative reviews,
Mhm.
0 stars, 0 stars, 0 stars. And everyone like was calling out like what happened. And they called us that like within an hour or so,
Mhm.
and were like begging us to like fix it and to respond to all the reviews.
Mhm.
And it was kind of like one of those things where we just kind of like, you guys kind of did this yourselves. Like there's not enough good PR right now to fix this.
Mhm.
Like and this is something else like if a business owner, like where you kind of just have to almost walk away from something that toxic and that bad, where you can only do so much to like make a terrible decision from a client better.
Mhm.
And I don't care. You could have the William Shakespeare PR. They're not going to fix that in like one, solid, piece of content or 2 or 5.
Mhm.
And so we ended up getting the Google Business Profile like listing like closed,
Okay.
just kind of like waited in the waters to try to let everything cool over and calm down.
Mhm.
So I do think PR can be extremely beneficial, especially if it's done right.
Mhm.
I don't think anything could have saved that particular case, but I do really believe that a lot of it can do amazing things. And even if you had like something as, a little more less dramatic as, say, you have a restaurant and there's like someone finds a rat one day, you can really use PR to fix things and turn that around. So that way you're not known as like the Italian restaurant with the rat in it,
Interesting. I mean, so I'm curious. Did you end up? Was that one of your clients? Did you end up taking him on? I mean, you mentioned that you told him to take down the Google Business Profile. What happened there? I'm curious. Like, did they?
It
come back
wasn't
up?
my client; it was someone else on my teams.
Okay.
But that I don't remember exactly what happened afterwards, but it was definitely like a relationship that was pretty strained after
Mhm.
that.
Got it.
I think they were a little frustrated that we couldn't do more. And I feel like we were kind of frustrated because it's like, you're telling us to win the football game when it's 99-0, there's 2 minutes left.
Mhm.
Like,
Got it.
there's nothing we can really do here to fix it. So, and unfortunately, those incidents happen. I mean, not that dramatic, but,
Mhm.
where a client may do something and it's just kind of like, you did this, you decided to
Yeah.
redo your whole website and not tell us.
Yeah.
Or my new favorite one I had recently was I had a client who kept talking about their competitors and, how come we're not doing better than these two? How come we're not doing better than these two? I'm like, okay, well, let's do it. And let me go into it and figure it out.
Mhm.
And in that whole process, they never once told me that they owned those two competitors. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me that from the get-go? Like my entire approach was thinking that these guys were your enemy, and it's just you own them this whole time.
Oh man, that's interesting. That's an interesting one. All right, so let's talk about like going against like the big sites like apartments.com, Zillow, and like I mean, what's your strategy on that when you have all these other like property management companies and other companies that are competing with them?
Internet listing services, ILSs, obviously they have a ton of money behind them. They're going to rank the top for, if you were to type in Dallas apartments, you're going to see those guys at the very top as opposed to Paul's apartments, So with those, a lot of the clients that we talk to, they realize how important they are. And so they will put some money into their, listings for them, but also try to have their own website and try to do their own thing.
Mhm.
So when we had that was one thing. Others did not want to spend any of the money towards those. And so they would just want to rank on their own. And given the market or the area, sometimes they would be really happy if they had like page 2 results. It is the only industry I've ever worked in where if you were on page 2, that was kind of like a celebration.
Interesting.
Because they knew that they're never going to be number 1. Like if I did 2-bedroom apartments in Denver, you're probably not going to beat Zillow or apartments.com or whatever. But if you were the 11th or 9th position, that was kind of like, okay, let's get some champagne. We had a good week. Let's do it. Let's celebrate. And I've never worked in any other vertical or niche where they had that enjoyment over being page 2.
Yeah, that's odd. I mean, but so okay, even if that's an uphill battle there, like what are some of the things that you're doing to at least, if you didn't get them on page 1, I mean, if you're trying to get them on page 1 or as far as in page 2 since they're happy, like what were some of the things that you actually did? What were some of your strategies there?
We really relied heavily on reviews, especially from tenants who were living there and who had lived there for a long time. And I felt like at that time we were pretty early on in using video and making sure that we had like oh, here's Paul. Paul has lived in this building for 3 years now.
Mhm.
And you talk about how great everything is and how, you had a broken fridge and they fixed it like the next day,
Mhm.
and how you've actually had like a referral program and you had 2 friends move into the building as well. And you got like a month free rent because of that. And just having like these positive experiences. I really think those helped us stand out a little bit more than, the Zillow listings or, apartments.com.
God,
I also,
yeah. Oh, no, go
oh,
ahead.
sorry.
Yeah.
Also, at that time, Google My Business was really starting to come about and starting to be pushed more towards being of relevance.
Mhm.
And I remember we started doing Google Posts, and no one was doing Google Posts at this time.
Mhm.
And so we were able to showcase like, move-in specials and showcase like video and these really great photos of like the happy couple who just moved in, or the guy who just graduated college and has his first real place to himself or something.
Mhm.
And we were able to showcase like these little stories in like these Google posts, or try to convey a story really. So I think those really helped us stand out, because you don't get that with Zillow, and you don't necessarily get that with apartments.com. I mean, at least back then you certainly didn't.
Yeah, I mean,
So
you're
those
pretty much,
were again
yeah.
like were the kind of things that were doing something different.
Yeah, because you're pretty much humanizing like content, right? Like the content that you're putting out, there's people behind it, and just like actually talking to the real people. So, I mean, so how do you scale this? How are you? I mean, are you literally going to your content clients and saying, "Hey, record videos," and they just send it to you? And I mean, like, yeah, how are you scaling this?
Some of them would. There was the way like a lot of our clients worked was they had their properties that were their babies, like the really important ones that, obviously drove money. And then they had other properties that were kind of like, yeah, we're doing work for it, but it's not as important. And so the bigger ones, they would be like, okay, we're going to send a video crew there. We're going to film this. We're going to film that.
Mhm.
And this is what we kind of were thinking. And then we would talk to them about like what would work. And they would even like set up like a YouTube channel for the company itself. And then like just kind of like advertise like, oh, here's the Paul apartments in Houston, and here's the Ryan apartments in Cleveland. And like there'd be like a 2-minute video about the property, and it'd be done to great music like you were playing earlier, and cut really well and showcase like the neighborhood as well. That was the thing that I always really loved, is that they also showcased the neighborhood. It wasn't just like here's the 2-bedroom apartment, here's what the kitchen looks like, here's the bathroom. It's like, here's this really cool bistro right down the street, and here's this brewery that's across the corner from where the apartment is. And, oh, here's like the baseball stadium that's within walking distance from this building. So they really did this lifestyle like approach to it. And I think that's what really helps, you and the properties get better than like what Zillow or apartments.com was doing.
Love that. We are coming close to time, guys. If you have any questions, please ask them in the live chat while we are coming down to my last few questions here. But this was not on the topic of today, but I want to talk about this because I didn't get to listen to your talk at Brighton SEO, and I was actually looking at the card, and it said that you were talking about how to deliver bad news in a better way. I like, can you at a high level, can you explain that? Because we all have that. We all have sometimes bad results, and so how are you? What are your tips to explain, deliver bad news to a client, like bad metrics?
Simply put, it was really just be honest, just tell the damn truth. Like if you have a bad month, just own it. If you're having a bad quarter, own it and say, okay, this didn't work, but here's what I want to do, and here's my game plan, and here's my game plan if my original game plan doesn't work. And I really think like, in my own personal experience, and I've had this, actually, here's a great example. One of my property management companies I had a great relationship with, they had a brand new property launch, and they were going to do like this huge open house, and their website went live like on Thursday, and they were doing this huge open house like that weekend to try to get as many tenants in as possible. And Monday morning comes in, and I forgot to put the Google Analytics code on the website.
Oh.
And I was like, oh shit. Like, are you serious? Like, I totally forgot that.
Yeah.
And I quickly put it on, and they lost like, a weekend's worth of data for grand opening. And I felt awful. And I was like, look, and I told them like, hey, look, I'll be honest. I forgot to put the code on. The code's on there right now. Here's a screenshot. I am so sorry. Please let me know what I can do to help make this better. And they were like, it's all good. Like, we appreciate you being honest and open, and you've done such a great job in the past. Like, it's all good, and I'm glad everything's working right now. I could have lied. I could have, did something different or blamed someone else, but I just took full ownership. And I feel like with clients, if you just take full ownership and you're honest, if you have bad news, like they're going to take it better. And if you have a game plan to go, fix your errors, they're going to love that even more. So, if, we could try to weasel our way or try to sweet talk or try to put lipstick on a pig all we want. But if you're just honest and say, hey, this sucked, this is what I want to do better, they respond so much better to that. And obviously there's going to be clients who, they could win $1 million and still be miserable. And it's like, okay, there's nothing I can do right there for you to make you happy at life. But from my own personal experience, the more honest you are and the more transparent, I think you're going to have a better working relationship. And I think you're going to have the results that not only you want, but also what your clients want.
Love that. Love that. Okay. So we are at time. This is the last question I ask all my SEO professionals that come on here. And if you were to give advice to someone that wanted to get into the SEO industry, become an SEO professional themselves, what would that be?
I would say find someone who's willing to mentor you. I think a lot of my success has been because I've been able to go to a bunch of people and ask for advice. One of my favorite mentors I've ever had is his name is Phil. I actually worked with him at Lease Labs. He has always given me great advice over the years. And even like, we were both at Brighton SEO, and he always had something like fun knowledge to like send my way, or telling me something to go look up, or a new product or a new software to maybe check out. That could be something, maybe it isn't, but maybe it is. So if you are really interested in doing SEO or even really just digital marketing, find someone who's willing to take you to lunch and just educate you and teach you, buy them a beer, buy them coffee or whatever, and just like soak it in, like what they can teach you. Because I feel like, especially with AI eliminating so many entry-level positions, if you can find a mentor and learn from them, you could have like a leg up. And look, you can watch all the YouTube videos and read all the search engine line articles you want, and if that helps you, great. But I think just talking to someone in person, about what you are interested in, I think that's going to set you up for so much success, especially down the road, that it's almost insane if you don't do that.
Love that. Love that. Okay. And for this episode to feel complete for you, any last words and comments for the audience, and how can people get a hold of you?
Sure. First off, thank you so much for having me. Like I said, I've been a big fan for a while, so it's super cool to do this. You can get a hold of me, Ryan Ricketts. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm the dark-haired one, not the pretty blonde one, the pretty dark-haired one. And you can go to slicketsdigital.com, message me there. I'm on Instagram as well. And yeah, if you know anyone who has home services or in healthcare and wants to help, or just a small business in general, please reach out to me. I think, as you can tell, I'm very excited and animated, and I love helping small businesses. So, I would love to help you guys out in any way possible. And everyone, just keep watching Paul, because I think he's truly doing great work.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's give a round of applause. All right, Ryan, can you hold on for one quick second when I send off here? Hold on for one quick second. All right. All right, guys, that concludes another episode of the SEO Video Show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And don't forget to visit our sponsor, tryprofound.com. And I saw my mom log in and watch I got an alert that she was watching or liking this episode on Facebook. So, Mommy, I love you. Thank you for watching. And till next time, I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Thank you for watching. Hope you come back next week. Make sure to subscribe. You don't want to miss a thing. Hope you learn something new, because the vibe is incredible. From the special SEO professionals, SEO video show. Let's work. Want to see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre De Vera helping you step it up. No delay right now. Time to level up. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Woo.